When a man rescued a dying crocodile, no one expected what would come of it. Years later, their bond turned into something truly extraordinary. What happened shocked everyone and redefined the meaning of loyalty. Some of the world's most dangerous animals live in the water, creatures with powerful jaws and lightning-fast attacks. That's why most fishermen keep their distance. Donald Roberts was no different. He lived a quiet, cautious life like many others in his trade. But everything changed one day after a close encounter with a fierce predator at sea. Donald, a native of Collie Martin, had spent half his life on the water. Each morning, he set out early in his old wooden fishing boat, catching fish to sell at the market by the docks, all to support his newborn son, Stephen. Every fishing trip helped Donald earn enough to send Stephen to elementary school. He didn't want his son to follow in his footsteps and become a fisherman at a young age like he had. Donald worked alone, handling everything himself, from preparing bait and setting fishing lines to launching his boat each morning, which was no easy feat. He lived by the river, keeping his small boat docked nearby. Each day, Donald navigated a narrow river for about 10 minutes until it opened into a calm stretch of sea. One quiet morning, as he reached the open water, everything felt peaceful, the sun still hidden beneath the horizon. As he paddled toward one of his favorite fishing spots, he smiled, knowing he had arrived before any of the other fishermen, just the way he liked it. But if he had known what was waiting for him in the water that day, he might never have gotten into his boat in the first place. Donald had grown up on the Benton Islands, which he had watched transform into a small city over his life when he was still a boy. He and his father would sit in their boat for hours without seeing another soul. Now he could see big boats in the distance, shipping coal and materials to the island. It meant more money for the local economy, but more pollution in the river. A lot of changes, but he tried not to let it bother him. Donald still felt connected to his hometown through the fish and animals in the sea. Even on his days off, he would go swimming near the reef and look for new fish. He found that the most surprising animals came to you when you weren't even looking. After Donald stopped his boat and got his line set up, he was ready to put his feet up and watch the sunrise. But he didn't have much time to relax. There was something in the water about to change his life. One of his fishing lines jolted suddenly to the left. Donald peered over the side of the boat and thought that it must have been a big fish. But he saw the shadow of something pass under the boat book, too, pointy and large for a fish. As the shadow tugged on the fishing line, it soon pulled that fishing rod flying into the water behind it. Donald was too slow to react and couldn't grab it in time. His boat was rocking from side to side, and he tried to study it just then. A massive green body came lunging out of the water, and between the splashes of water, Donald, salted had jagged, pointy teeth, and even its skin looked sharp. He realized that it was a crocodile. He had seen crocodiles before in shallower water, but never this far out from the swamp. Donald also noticed that it wasn't a fully grown crocodile, maybe about 3 feet or 1 meter long, and as it twisted and turned in the water, he could see that a big plastic bag was caught in its mouth. As the animal tried to snap its jaw open, it looked like it was choking. Without thinking about it, Donald jumped on top of the dangerous crocodile and started pulling its mouth open with his hands. The two went above and below the water as the small fisherman wrestled with the predator. But years of pulling his boat out to the river had made Donald strong. After just a few seconds, he was able to pull the plastic out from the crocodile's mouth, saving the animal from certain death. Then he pushed the crocodile away with his feet to give himself just enough time to swim back to the boat. The crocodile turned to face Donald, and they both froze for a moment. The animal quickly swam off into the distance. Donald climbed back into his boat, wrung out his wet clothes, and couldn't believe what had just happened. His adrenaline was pumping and he took some time to calm down, but the day wasn't over and it was about to get even more bizarre. A little later, when Donald was heading back to the river, he heard some splashing behind his boat. He looked back, and to his surprise, there was the crocodile again. Donald didn't know if he was in danger or not, so he sped up. But the crocodile quickly caught up to him and swam beside the boat. Slowly, she nudged the boat softly, and Donald realized that she might be trying to play with him. So Donald threw her one of the fish that he caught earlier. The crocodile snapped it up and swam next to the boat all the way until Donald arrived near his house. His wife happened to be near the riverbed and yelled out to him, "Watch out," saying in a panic, "There's a crocodile right there." But Donald assured her that it was okay. She didn't believe him until he parked the boat, and the crocodile gently swam up to her new friend. Donald handed her another fish. This time they were almost touching. After a little more swimming around in the river, the crocodile left. It felt like a once-in-a-lifetime experience, but the story wasn't over quite yet. After a few years of silence, Donald's wife had some great news. He had taken his son on a fishing trip out of town when his wife called him. She told him that something amazing had happened. The crocodile from years ago had returned, and she seemed to be looking for Donald since he wasn't there. His wife fed the croc, as did their neighbors, who they had told about the story all those years ago. Then the following day, Donald returned home to find the crocodile there again, and they greeted each other in a shallow part of the river, and the crocodile let Donald come up close. The croc wasn't as small as he had remembered. She had grown into a full-sized crocodile spanning 23 feet or 7 meters from head to toe. But something that never changed was the level of affection for Donald. The animal remembered him saving her life that day, all those years ago. Ever since her return, Donald had named the croc Bubbles. She swims up to the house looking for him and something to eat, of course. But when she doesn't appear, Donald does the most unexpected thing. He takes out his boat and searches the river for her, just like any pet owner would if their dog or cat went missing. He travels up and down the water until he finds her. When he does, he feeds her, sometimes fish, other times even 3 chickens. Once she's had her fill, she calmly swims away. Seeing her safe and content brings Donald joy, and he never forgets to care for his old friend. Even when Donald had to leave town for work, he made sure Bubbles was never forgotten, asking neighbors or friends to stop by and feed her in his absence. That way, she was always cared for, even when he couldn't be there himself. Over the years, Donald's son, Stephen, also grew deeply attached to the crocodile. One of Stephen's favorite things to do was feed the crocodile alongside his father. Bubbles mostly enjoyed fish, but on special occasions, chicken or beef was added to the menu. The crocodile's story inspired Stephen to take action. He began cleaning plastic from the river every week and dreamed of becoming a politician one day, determined to fight pollution from the nearby shipping town. For the next 20 years, the crocodile continued visiting Donald's home. Sometimes she would even follow his boat back through the river, just like she did on that very first day. Whenever she was injured, Donald did everything he could to help her heal. He even called a vet to the river once. The vet was too afraid to get close, but he gave Donald instructions and some medicine to treat her. No one believed a crocodile could trust a human, let alone this deeply. But Donald's bond with Bubbles proved them all wrong. What do you think of this story? Let us know in the comments section. I hope you liked this story. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.